I'd like to call the North Branford Planning and Zoning regular meeting for September 3rd to order. In attendance at full house today, and I'm hoping I get everybody's name right, because I'm trying to get everybody one time. Regular members, Algren, Sienna, Leskovitz, Galdenzi, Dulac, and also in attendance is also a member Gunn. The first order of business will be our meeting minutes. We have two sets. One from July 9th, we'll start with that one. I think that was in the packet, I didn't look through it. I don't recall who was here or not.
So
I was, because last
that's
time
right.
we couldn't do it last time.
So both Bill and Ron were absent.
Yeah.
Is it in here? Where is it?
Here it
Okay,
is.
okay.
'Cause if you could sign the last page
All right.
too.
So in attendance for that meeting were myself, Fran, Charlie, and Dave. So those will be the three.
I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes for the first one, July 9th.
Yep. Second. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Any opposed? Seeing none, and a couple of,
Abstains.
Yep.
Abstains. Ron.
Ron and Bill. The second one, do you copy the second one?
Mhm.
Okay. The second one, which is August 6th, I was here, myself, Bill, Charlie, and Ron.
Make a motion to accept the August 6, 2015 minutes.
Second.
Any discussion on those? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And a couple abstentions from Dave and Fran. Okey dokey. So, looks like we were supposed to have a public hearing for P&Z application 2015-7. I guess that's that's for the Mill Pond Restaurant, but it looks like that's been that's gonna be continued to the next meeting?
Correct.
Let's see, we got a request from the attorney.
Actually, the
is it?
property owner.
The property owner. So they want to push it back into the next meeting, start off on the 17th. Now, how long does that give us?
So they requested, I believe, a 10-day extension,
Okay,
which gets them to the meeting on September 17th.
and then the clock starts ticking then?
No, the clock already started ticking, which is
Okay.
why they needed to request an extension.
Okay.
So we only have 35 days for the public hearing.
Right,
And so at the 17th, hopefully we'll have enough information that we can close the public hearing. If not, they can request another extension. So they can
Okay.
request an extension of up to 65 days.
right,
So this first extension is just for 10 days.
okay, all right. All right.
Need a motion.
In your sheet that I passed out at the beginning of the meeting,
Yeah.
because we didn't have a packet or I didn't have my comments ready, I included in there just information about 1565, because we did meet on August 14th with the property owner, town engineer, building official, fire marshal, and East Shore Health. So that project is underway. They just have additional information to submit. I did receive an updated survey, because you'll remember there was a question about the property line.
Yeah.
So they're slowly chipping away at each of those items. They're just not ready to present everything at this point.
One question I have on that, I'm wondering your comments, coordination with DOT regarding the access onto Route 17. Since that was already set up for previous special use for that, what are they coordinating with?
Well, DOT wanted to see if the stop bar needed to be repainted, if there was the appropriate signage, like a stop sign, because even though there had been a restaurant years before,
Right.
it changed to the counseling center, and now it's changing back to a restaurant, so it's been a few years in between each of those uses.
Letter for the bridge. Okay.
Are they gonna clear all alongside of the driveway, because that's all overgrown now? Probably can see the driveway.
I believe they do have plans, yes, for some landscaping improvements.
Clear out so you can see the driveway, also have a lot of accidents.
Yeah.
Right, and I think that would probably be part of their paving plan for the parking lot when they have the pavers come in. But the pavers they had to wait on to get quotes because they need to confirm with East Shore Health regarding the septic system, because they obviously didn't want to do the parking lot and then have to rip it up to do the septic.
All right, so we'll continue that to the September 17th meeting, which means no possible action on that item.
So just, you're okay with the request for an extension?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we need to vote on that, all right? I don't think so.
No, I think
Okay.
they have to request it, so
Yeah.
Yep.
it's good.
All right, so no possible action on that. Old business, we know that's still with the state, and probably no update on that.
Correct.
All right, so what's moving along? We are on to some new business, which is PZ application 2015-9, and that's for 285 Foxton Road.
Okay, for the record, my name is Mark Young, land surveyor with Waldo Associates. The owner of the property, Al Facilio, asked me to help him with the site plan application. Just to bring you all up to speed, this site is the former Ave Pizza by the corner of Totoket Road and Route 80. This, let's see, this is a copy of the plans for the new building. Let me back up a little bit. What happened was Al bought the property with the intention of renovating the building. He got a variance to renovate and expand the existing building. During that process, it became apparent that the existing structure was inadequate. In fact, even the foundation was inadequate. So the entire building had to be demolished and a new building constructed. The new building triggered the site plan requirement. If that building had been in good shape, we wouldn't be here. But that's basically what happened, and here we are. Now, on the site plan, there are a number of issues with the parking. Let's see. The existing parking was partially over the street line on the Merrick Avenue side, Merrick Drive side. By reconfiguring it a little bit and you know, reorganizing the spacing and so forth, we arranged to fit 24 spaces. Based on the area of the seating area, the code requires 27. So we have made an application to the Zoning Board of Appeals for variances. Number one, number of parking spaces.
Now, can I stop you on that one?
Yeah.
You have 12 up front, right? So then, and then you have six on the left and 6 on the right. That's what those
Right.
numbers signify.
Right.
Okay, because I didn't see any delineation on the left side
Oh, okay.
of where any of the spaces were. So I just wanted.
Sorry, maybe it didn't show up.
Okay.
The lines are very faint.
Oh, I see them
so we
now.
have
Yeah, I
three.
see them going across. Yeah,
Yes.
they are. They're very faint. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So we had 6 there, 6 in front, and 12 along this side. Now this, where I show the curve here, this is where it is now, okay?
Right.
It's technically, it's over the street line. The intention, what he'd like to do is to close off this entrance and reconfigure this island, so we have, you know, one long island and all parking up against there. That would work out the best for him, even though we're short a few spaces. Now, we discussed this with Kurt Weiss. He suggested diagonal parking and move it back off the out of the street. So that's what we did here. We expanded the parking in the back a little bit to 8 spaces, and still the 6 in front. And by putting all this parking just up to the street line, we have 8 spaces there for a total of 22. So we got, by moving the parking entirely onto the property, we lose 2 spaces, but we still have the setback issues. Now, what Mr. Priscilla would like to do is to keep working, okay? You know, he built the foundation and got his carpenters lined up, you know, with the understanding that he had the permits, but then the site plan issue came up. Carrie indicated that we could present the site plan, and if this board could approve the site plan contingent on our variances, you know, then he could proceed with the building. I mean, that'd be the best of all possible worlds. But my understanding is that you cannot approve this if variances are not in place. So.
And also, do you have any information from East Shore Health?
I have, we've submitted a plan. I had some comments from the sanitarian, and I discussed it with him. I have, the way I analyzed it is a method that I discussed with the state health department, and I discussed that with him, and he wanted to talk to the state health department. In any case, regardless of the outcome of that, the issue is design flows. And to make a long story short, the health code bases it on the number of seats. We designed it based on the design flow of his restaurant downtown, which is very similar, which is actually a lot less than the code requires. In any case,
Which is an approach that the state suggested, correct?
right, that's the approach I discussed with the state health department. In any case, this system fits out here. All the soil on this site is very good, very sandy. It's very suitable for septic systems. If the health department decides they want a larger system, we've got plenty of room to put it in. We can put something that meets the exact letter of the health code, even though it's way oversized. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. My understanding, to get back to the variance issue, is that, well, Mr. Priscilla would like to keep working. If he can't proceed, he's going to lose his carpenters for 2 months. So that'll set everything way back. So what we thought was one way to go was with this layout. This has 8 parking spaces along the side here, and 6 in the front, for a total of 14. Now, these spaces are entirely code conforming. They meet the setbacks from the street line and the setback from the residence district line. To make this work, he could shrink the patron seating area in the building. So if the commission sees fit, you could approve this site plan with the condition that he revised the plans to reduce the seating area. We would then proceed with our variance application, and if we're granted a variance for one of the other parking layouts, then we would come back here for a revised site plan approval. Again, he doesn't want to, if he can't continue construction shortly, he's going to lose his carpenters, lose 2 months of work, and the building, he won't get it done by New Year's. So I think, with this arrangement, he's going to take a chance that he gets the variances. but at least this will keep him, keep his carpenters working. And we'll deal with the zoning board of appeals as the time goes on.
So you.
Does that make sense?
You know, so we can't fully approve it with variances outstanding, but can we approve it with the contingency that we get variances, or is there really nothing we can do?
Well, there's, the
Tonight.
one thing we're saying, first of all, it's something we've never done. At least.
I just wanna
at least-
understand it.
At least as far
I
as.
just wanna
It's gone to
understand
it's gone to ZBA first and then back to us.
The-
And
the-
that's Charlie, unless you, I mean, if you have any
Technically, that's
recollection.
not what we're proposing.
But one thing is that there's a lot of things outstanding that just, I understand, we'll try to accommodate, but
Okay.
there's too many things that we're trying to, you're having us trying to approve, and then ZBA at the same time, you know, there's, for East Shore, we need that information when we make a decision.
So the point I was trying to make, it sounds like we can't do anything, if I heard it
We
correctly.
don't have any.
Even if we
don't
wanted
even have the
to,
fires,
Right
the
now, we
fire
can't.
marshal sign off, like,
is that true? We
Right,
can't,
so-
there's nothing we can do tonight, we can't
So-
grant anything tonight.
I think what Mr. Young's asking is for planning and zoning to look at that plan that's up on the easel right now
Right.
as an isolated option
Right.
and approve that. But, and then if there were changes based on variances approval, then they would have to come back as if there were changes to any approved site plan and make those modifications. But there's still, right, there's still an outstanding information from East Shore Health.
Mhm.
And
Correct.
does that plan satisfy the parking requirements?
This does not. It does.
It
It does with a revised building plans, with a reduced patron seating area.
So 14, you only need 14 based on?
Right,
Oh, I see.
750
So you
square
only
feet,
need
I think.
14, but that currently doesn't give you enough setback, but if you reduce the patron seating area, you get the required setbacks. You
Then that
only need
reduces
14
the
and you get
seating
approved.
requirement. And so this plan with the revised building plans, I believe is approvable as is.
And the
And that
revised,
would, and that, the idea being that would permit the building department to issue the framing permit so his carpenters could continue. And he doesn't lose the time.
and the footprint of the building is not changing, it's
Footprint of the
all
building is not
in
changing.
But the
interior.
The commitment for the interior is reduced until he gets.
Right.
Have you submitted that plan to my office yet?
No,
Or is
you were not in today.
Right.
We were with-
Yeah, this
Okay.
plan we just came up with this afternoon.
Okay,
We're trying to find a way to, you know, that the commission can approve this with, you know, in accordance with the regulations that lets Al's carpenters proceed. And so he doesn't lose a couple of months.
when do you expect to hear back from East Shore Health?
Anytime. He seemed to be fairly responsive. I would expect, you know, the next day or two. I talked with him
When's the
yesterday.
ZBA?
September 21st.
Oh, so it's after.
So we meet again on September 17th.
I have a couple of questions. He obviously got permission, was able to pull a building permit and started building.
No, he hasn't yet.
The foundation, the
Yes,
foundation's
yes.
in.
So,
It's backfilled, so you had to do that with a building permit, right?
right, so, I'll walk through, you know, and explain what had happened. I think Mr. Young did that, but I'll add just a little bit of background. So Al Basilio came in, purchased the property, as he said, was looking to remodel the existing building, came across mold, came across other issues, realized he wanted to add on to the existing building so that he could have the storage that had been outside interior to the building and add in a basement and some other storage components. Because he was just adding on to the existing building and the use was not changing, I didn't feel that that triggered anything in looking at the regulations. It wasn't a change of use, it wasn't a substantial change to the building, but he did need a variance for that addition because he was going into the residential district, because it becomes R40 directly next door. The abutting property is a residential zone. So Mr. Basilio went to the ZBA in July obtained, I believe, 3 variances for that addition. And, was moving forward, and that's how he received the building permit to do that addition and renovations, kind of remodeling. And there was talk about taking down one wall at a time. I was out at the site with the building official, and there were 2 walls left standing, and the general contractor was on site, and he said, look what I came across. The foundation that was existing isn't sufficient, it's unsafe. So the building official said, yes, I concur, those other buildings, or those other walls can come down, which is how we got to no walls standing, but it wasn't done under a demo permit. It kind of came about through the process of renovating, remodeling, adding on. And so then it was looked at as, well, hold on, now we're dealing with a substantial alteration to the building. Although it's not a change of use, it triggered all of these other things, which question the parking, the dumpster location, the sign, everything that had been on the building, because the building now came down.
Yeah.
So it's a substantially changed building, even though the footprint is the same. There is the addition on the back, which is why it seemed like it needed to come back, or come to planning and zoning for review.
The other thing I had was, are there sewers on Route 80?
There are, but it's about 600 feet
Yes, it's
away.
quite a ways down the street.
No.
It's on the other side of the school, Sunset,
Oh.
right at the top. We tried that, it was too far.
And
Too deep,
also-
they're saying too deep.
And the town engineer had said that the soils on this site were just excellent, so why not just keep it on site?
Very
Save that
smooth.
cost, save the infrastructure.
Carrie, can I add, my understanding was the foundation was from 1963, so it was a relatively recent foundation. And one would expect that a foundation of that vintage would be sound, because it wasn't like the 1920s or something.
Right.
But in fact, it was not.
So the building official, did comment, so his referral says, existing walls were torn down due to insufficient foundation, creating an unsafe condition. New construction must comply with current Connecticut building code. So that's a quick summary of how we got to where we are.
If the existing building had a septic,
Yes, it did have a septic. It had 4 dry wells, which are probably functioned well because this is very, very good soil.
Right.
But they're inadequate according to modern codes.
Oh, okay.
So the whole system was redesigned. Also, too, the grease trap and septic tank were inadequate. So it'll be an entirely new septic system up to modern code.
So you want us to approve something so you can continue to build, but we don't have the information to make an approval on? This outstanding information?
We don't have any referrals, which includes the police department, which I was looking at the diagonal parking that's kind of right at the one-way street. I'd like to, have somebody weigh in on that. We don't have the fire marshal, we don't have East Shore. So my thought is that that's a lot to approve with not having all the referrals that we require. Now, I know you want to keep on going, there's the ZB doesn't meet, but we have another meeting in 2 weeks. So if we have all the information in 2 weeks, and you come back with the one that works with the proper amount of parking, then we can approve that, and then you go to ZBA to try to get the other things. So it'd be a delay of 2 weeks, but just understand, we want to try to help as much as we can and try to walk through this, and,
Right.
we understand what you want to do,
Yeah.
I agree. I was just saying, I think personally, I would like to do everything I can. It looks like a really nice building, but I concur with her. I mean, right at tonight, I just don't think we have enough, but I agree. If we could get it by 2 weeks from now,
Yeah.
it would make a lot more sense.
Yeah, but that doesn't help him with his contractors, and I understand.
If it's
Oh,
2
no,
weeks,
I know,
then-
yeah.
Go on.
Is
I
it,
get it.
can we do anything partially? I mean, he's got an open foundation there, and, allow him to put a deck on it. At least it's covered for safety reasons, to save the foundation from, I drove by, one of your carrying beams has a heck of a hook in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that
Is that
Is that
feasible?
something
Is that
we
within our realm?
do, or is that building
Right.
official?
That has nothing to do with the site plan. I mean, that's,
Yeah,
mean,
but
that's-
what I'm
it's not-
saying, it's
I mean-
just somebody approved the footprint of the building, the foundation's in, and the foundation's backfilled, and it's open. So and there's lumber on site.
Yes, I was told.
And if we just allowed them to put the deck on, not walls, not anything other than, a plywood, of course, whatever the structure is, 2x12 or something. And plywood on it.
would that be the building official?
That, yeah, I feel like
just
that
know
would fall
We're
under.
moving to planning and
Yeah.
zoning commission,
Yeah,
doing
we're-
a site plan review.
Yeah.
You're talking about putting, I don't know, I mean, I
Well,
actually don't know. It
Moving
doesn't
to,
sound like we have the approval to do
Charlie,
it.
Would it be possible, is it realistic to think about trying to get those permissions next week? And hold a special meeting 1 week?
next Thursday?
It's an idea.
If we can get all our
That-
ducks in a
that-
row.
I'm open to that.
Yeah, I'd be open
I'm
to
here.
that.
I'm here.
If we could, yeah. I mean, as far as the decking or something like that, I think I would refer that to the building official.
Right, because I don't know what he needs to inspect, and if he
Right,
would be
yeah.
looking to me
Yeah.
and our new ZEO to sign off on.
Yeah, I mean, that's something, would you be able to check?
I
on
can check,
tomorrow or
I can check
whatever?
on that and
Is
let
this-
you
we
know.
could, maybe there is
So-
a step further that can be taken. We can't give that, like I said, there might be inspections that are needed or different things. But we're not,
So
we're not
what
sure.
specifically, is it the decking? What's the next step that would be ideal besides putting the entire building up, that you would like to be able to do between now and the very?
Protect the foundation, anybody falling in and getting killed.
Right.
I mean, really, we're not
Definitely take
talking
the
about
issue there.
a lot of time for even your carpenters. Forget tomorrow's Friday. You've got the long weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So then you just got Tuesday and Wednesday. If we can have a meeting on Thursday, you're kind of golden.
I think that's our best option.
Yeah,
Only option.
Yeah.
Sounds like the best we can do.
That's a plus and a minus.
Hmm?
That's,
Yeah, oh,
the-
yeah.
The East Shore Health Department isn't working on those days either,
Right.
so you're not gonna get an answer from them.
Yeah.
The state's not working.
They've got a couple of days to.
Yeah,
keep
but
in
you
mind.
said you expected a decision pretty quickly on that, but I mean, hopefully they're there tomorrow where you can just say you just need it by Thursday at 4:00.
Right. I'll give, the sanitarian a call tomorrow and,
See if they can
you know,
actually.
see if he can work with us to make this time schedule.
So the police department just has to do.
Yeah, we just have to make sure we get our referrals from our,
And they'll be referring that,
Okay,
Plan
we'll send you a set of this layout.
and where does that have the dumpster? Because that will,
Dumpster's right by the back of the building. It's,
so that complies.
Yeah, it's inside the,
Okay.
residence, I mean, more than 50 feet from the residence
Okay.
district boundary.
Okay,
I
And
believe
any-
everything's conforming
Okay.
with this layout.
Great.
We'll just have to get a minor revision to the floor plan
right.
to make it all.
I just got something to say about the septic system. You're building the septic system to seat 80 people. The parking spaces are gonna seat how many people?
Well,
Right,
if you're gonna build the septic, I mean, we should have the whole, ZBA, and re-review of the site plan process, completed, and approved by the time he's ready to build the septic. I mean, unless he wants to build it next week.
No, I'm just saying, no, taking into consideration, they're worrying about the septic system and the size of it, but we're not asking for that much seating right now.
No,
We're
right
asking for
now-
half the seating.
Correct.
right,
But
but the
we-
referral that we'd be looking for from East Shore Health District will be what you want to build.
Yes.
Right.
So that we don't have to
As far as
review that
this
twice.
plan right
It'll
here.
be twice what you need
For this plan.
for this
right, and then
use
if it
plan.
comes to the other one where you get to, then you're all set.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
that way,
Yeah.
if you get the bigger system approved, and you build that, and then there's no issue with,
Right.
assuming we do get approvals for the variances and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Are there any, sorry, go
How
ahead.
much parking did the existing restaurant have? It was always very crowded there.
Yeah, it actually, I don't think it was marked out, but it was, you know, roughly, well,
6 or 8 in the front, and then
this layout,
house on the side.
Well, don't forget, you lost half of the side for that air conditioning unit sitting in the middle of the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a large unit on the side of the parking lot. And then the back of the parking lot, right in the middle of the parking lot, they had their dumpsters.
yeah.
Then they had a storage container there.
Mhm. And there's the telephone pole right in the middle back there, and that wasn't really,
You know, also, is there on-the-street parking on this, Merrick Drive?
Yes. Not posted.
So it's not posted, it's on-street parking?
Well, it's our-
Yeah, I mean.
But-
well,
But our regulations require on-site parking.
Right, I-
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
You're just saying, yeah,
If there's
Friday,
only
busy
overflow,
Friday, Saturday
overflow,
night, they can
You
park.
still
Yeah.
have the street.
Yeah.
Officially, you
They
need
did
to
that already
say.
when you were going to take out, they park on the street because you can't ever get out of the parking
Yeah,
lot.
I mean, people park there for when they, for the school, for the lacrosse games that go on there, softball, different things like that, so.
Feel lucky.
Yeah. So we'll schedule a meeting for next Thursday.
Thursday, September 10th.
Yeah.
I'll make sure that this room is available.
Charlie,
And then I'll,
good suggestion.
Hey, occasionally the wires get.
Yeah.
Just another.
Good idea.
Another meeting Bill's gonna probably.
And, you know, and in the interim,
Alright.
holiday weekend and everything, check into if they could legally, you know, just get a partial to put a deck on there.
Yeah.
To save the foundation, we can be moving forward.
I'm happy. My brain.
Yeah.
My brain goes.
Thank you.
All right,
Yeah.
thanks.
Okay. Okay, moving along, we have one more item of new business, unless Carrie has something to it, which I don't think she did. It's a review of zoning permit for a temporary storage trailer at 90
so, this is at the end of Ciro Road where the cul-de-sac is. Triano Industrial Park. It was subdivided and approved by Planning and Zoning in February of 2014. You'll remember, I believe it was last February, Kevin, I'm forgetting his last name, from Aero Paving, came before the commission to ask about outside storage because he was looking to move his paving company to this location. He started clearing the lot. He hasn't built anything, hasn't pulled any permits. He's staying outside of the wetlands. In this process, there's been some vandalism, so any equipment that he's had out there, because he's not down there all the time and it's at the end of Sierra Road, people are meddling with his things. So he's proposing a temporary storage trailer to be located there between now and November 1st, which is when he anticipates having a site plan before the commission for review and approval. The challenge is that our regulations in section 4.8 has a temporary storage trailer, but it says that the trailer shall be clearly accessory to the principal use or structure on the lot which it is located. There's nothing on the lot right now. So what I'm suggesting to the commission is look at the option to waive that requirement so that he can have this temporary storage trailer there so that he can get things going. He also talked about putting up security cameras on the trailer. And in the regulations, it says that the approval for this storage trailer could only be for 6 months at a time. So that would give him plenty of time to come before the commission. If he didn't come before us in November for whatever reason, once the 6 months is up, he would have to abandon the trailer and remove it from the lot. So he did note on these plans the location of the trailer, although it's not to scale. I did let him know that he would have to comply with setbacks, so have it 50 feet from the street line. And then the sideline wouldn't be an issue because the wetlands are there. You can see, it's not to scale, but,
Which one did?
here.
Oh,
So
it's
this
very,
is
very
Ciro
end,
Road, the
very
very end.
It's not in there, I don't think we have a copy of that.
No, I just got this today, so you can pass this down so that everyone can look at it.
very end of Cyril Road. Setback, residential.
Route 80's down here.
This is a 40 by 75. No, that's the building, right? What's the size of the trailer?
It's 22 by 8, placed 50 feet from the apron on the left
That's a
side.
construction,
I don't need to see it.
office.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
22
the
by
other,
8.
if you look at the zoning regulations,
This, David? No.
there's 4.9 talks about construction trailers, but why I didn't think that it fit under that is because that requires that it be submitted in conjunction with an approved site plan, which we don't have.
Did he give any indication of how far along he is on the site plan? 'Cause
He said they're working on it. He gave an estimation of the first meeting in November, that he would have it ready and submitted to the commission and be
So it's the-
presenting.
We're September, October, 3 months, right?
So the regulations say that permits shall be issued for a period of 6 months, so I don't know that we could do less than 6 months,
Why not?
because it says shall be issued for a
Oh,
period of
we're
6
waiving
months. Well, we're waiving the first one, which is the trailer shall be clearly accessory to the principal use or structure on the lot.
So,
But if we're waiving it, why can't we?
for me,
waive
a
it?
22 by 8.
Alter the second one?
Yeah, it's a regular.
Even
it's a
if he gets
storage.
hung up,
Yeah, I
it's
know,
22 by 8, and it's 50 feet back from anyone. It's like little. it's a
There's no
box.
reason not to give them the 6 months.
Yeah, correct. It's,
It's a storage container.
yeah, when I first, I was looking at the proposed building, I saw 75 by something, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. 22 by 8, I mean.
Yeah, and where it is, I mean,
It's tiny.
I mean, it's not like it's on a corner lot.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's set back a little bit, so.
And there have been instances of people dumping, asphalt millings at the end of the road, and there's a storage trailer currently just kind of sitting here, so I'm hopeful that having a trailer there, maybe with some cameras, it will reduce the vandalism that's happening and the dumping that's happening.
Whose
at the end of the-
storage trailers is there now?
I don't know.
It's on his lot.
No, it's on Cyril Road.
It's on the road.
Yes,
Don't you think we ought to find out?
yes,
Assistant Z.
yes.
How big's that list?
Yeah, exactly.
Many files have been passed
Hey, thanks
along.
for taking the job. Here.
Where's that?
Don't scare her off, she might be watching this
Right.
on TV, don't scare her off, just, so.
So this is, you have to run power down there too?
Yes,
So it's gonna take a while to get the UI or road has power on that road to run a line down there.
right.
So we need somebody to make a
There's a
motion
motion.
to
Here,
waive,
got it.
you got one? Okay. Read it.
I move to waive the requirement under section 4.8, trailers for temporary storage. 1, the trailer shall be clearly accessory to the principal use or structure on the lot on which it is located. To allow a trailer for temporary storage under section 4.8, to store tools and equipment at 90 Cyril Road, Assessor Map 13, Lot 83. It's an I2 zone. Owner applicant Kevin McClellan, as shown on submitted application map and drawing, subject to the following conditions. Number 1, the permit is valid for 6 months from the date of approval by the Planning and Zoning Commission. 2, adherence to all applicable building and fire safety codes.
Second.
Second, any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Fran.
I'm not
Fran?
voting.
And Charlie's not voting on that. Yep. So, we are done with new business, and I'll turn it over to Carrie for her town planners report.
We have 2 applications that we're receiving this evening. Let me just get the numbers for you. They are both text amendments to the zoning regulations. One is number 2015-10. This is for a proposed text amendment to the alcohol regulations. It is by Mr. Pacilio at 285 Foxton Road. It is the proposed amendment is to allow for the consumption, I'll read it exactly. So this is adding this sentence to the end of the alcohol regulations. Except that liquor outlets for on-premises consumption of beer and wine only shall be permitted within 500 feet of any church, synagogue, college, school, park, or town-owned playground.
Oh, try that again?
So it's to
It's right there,
allow
Jerome Harris.
the,
Yeah.
right, it's to allow the consumption of beer and wine in a restaurant within 500 feet of a church, school.
Are you just saying for an upcoming meeting? or are
Yes.
we- Okay, yeah.
No,
I'm
this
just
is-
trying to say, I need to
yes.
see that
Right,
in front of me. Okay, yeah,
right, right. No, these,
Yeah.
so these just recently came in,
Yeah, yep.
so I just wanna, because we have to take them in within,
Yep.
48 hours, 24 hours of,
When we made the new liquor ones, it wasn't in there any reference
You
to,
have to be crossed by a major highway or something else, right?
so they're differentiating beer and wine, because I talked with them about this, and I said, you do realize we just visited this is a whole can of worms. And I went through the history, and they said, yes, but this is a separate issue because we're isolating beer and wine at a restaurant, not talking about liquor, was their argument.
Did the other restaurant have beer and wine?
No,
I
they
don't
did
think
not.
so, because I don't,
They-
that was too close to the school.
And they applied for a variance in, I believe, 2008, and they were denied, but that's a different avenue than doing a text amendment.
Right.
How's it different?
Because a variance is specific to that parcel, a text amendment would apply to the whole town, so that if there's another restaurant within 500 feet of a church or school that wanted to serve just beer or wine, they could do so. Because the regulation change that was last made spoke to the highway separation and getting it down to 400. This would eliminate it entirely, but only to beer and wine.
seems like a stupid
Well, it's gonna be
regulation.
fun. It'd be-
Really does.
So that's one.
I mean,
So the,
That opens
this
up-
will.
I know
Whole
that, but
town.
it's just,
This will have a, public hearing October 1st. And the second text amendment, application that I received is application 2015-11. And this is for the age-restricted housing district.
Right.
So that's to create section 38, which is a floating zone that would have age-restricted housing district as a separate zone that would be established and applied, but then would also require a special use permit for the, and a site plan for the construction of any age-restricted housing. So that will also have a public hearing on October 1st.
Is that for the property by Farley Van?
Ultimately, but the text change would be for the entire town.
They still wanna put 50 units on that piece of property?
Which property?
That piece of property, they still wanna put like 30 units
I think
on it?
they're, right, so this proposal has 6 units per acre, which the commission will have to decide if that's too dense or if that's not too dense.
That's what the plan was for, I think, too.
Right, so one thing that I'm going to look at is other parcels in town where this could possibly be applied, and just to think about the density. For instance, 50 Fowler Road mentioned to me that they were kind of intrigued by this regulation, but I explained to them that they already had their approval under elderly development. So I need to look closely to see what this regulation would look like on that parcel specifically, because they have 90 acres. So you still have to set aside the open space, but if you have 90 acres and at an extreme 6 unit, that's not how it would be applied, but, and as it is, I think they were approved for 230 units, I believe.
275, I
Two hundred-
guess. Yeah.
Fowler Road, 50 Fowler Road.
So the other thing with that is you could have a parcel, open space parcel elsewhere that would then allow you more density, right? But then we talked a lot about that, right?
Right, so that's, we'll have to see
Like if
how
you
we,
had-
how we want to adjust this so that,
25 acres somewhere else, which was not really buildable, but it could be good open space. You could use
Could
it
be
to
counted
become a lot
towards
more
the
dense here, right?
10 acres that you're actually building on.
A quick question, and I don't know, maybe I should know this, but age-restricted housing, okay? Assume you have an elderly couple that pass away and give the property to their younger children who move in.
They can't, they have to sell it.
I know they can't, but they did.
Well, they
Now,
would have
who is
to,
responsible for evicting them from property that they own?
A lot about that.
I think in here it says the homeowners association may place additional age restrictions. So based on that language, we can ask them, but I believe it would be the homeowners association. And it's just one person who is 55 years of age or older. So they could have other younger people living with them.
Right,
I know there's been some of it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, there's one of them that, if I was
Could be a
under the
three-generation
age,
house.
and say my mom passed away who owned it, and she wills it to me, now I'm no longer, I don't fit in within the regulation.
Or better than that, you fall on hard times and you move in with your parents.
Right, but then they pass away.
Yes.
But right now,
It's,
like,
it's
it's
up to
age
you,
restricted
it's up to the.
to
it really-
55 and older usually.
It's 58, they would have,
Right.
they wouldn't be
Yeah.
allowed to live there.
I could live there, my daughter could live there, she just had a daughter, so it could be a three-generational house.
Well,
Right,
no, I
it's
mean,
only
you
just
only,
one
you only
person.
You can't
allows
sell
one.
it.
It only allows one. One,
So
one person under 55.
Didn't it say that? Carrie,
I'm not doing that again.
is that, he just said it only allows one person under 55.
It just says must be occupied by at least one
One.
person.
Over
So
55.
so if you have a person that's
Okay.
55, and they have a child,
Yes,
and they have 3 grandchildren, they
Yeah.
could all live there.
yes.
Sure.
Yeah. Even though it's only 2 bedrooms or whatever.
But when we look at the
Yeah.
regulations, we can make those changes.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
and-
or, have that discussion. When
Because
we get to it.
the other thing,
But I know what you're saying, the one thing is, we'll have the attorney here, we'll ask her about the way, about the willing it out to somebody who's under 55. Find out how that
And if the
works.
homeowners association, says that, people under 55 can now live there,
Right,
then now we got cluster housing.
right. So we'll need to clarify that with the attorney.
Yeah, I guess what I'm boiling down to is, I don't want the town to be in a position of being, signing a agree and having to evict people from their,
No, it wouldn't be the
their
town.
homes
It
on
would- it would
Christmas
be-
Eve.
You can't keep on top
No,
of
it
it
would be,
anyway.
it would
How
be,
do
the-
you-
it would
how
be
do
the
you keep on
homeowners.
top- keep on top of it?
Yeah, it'd be the
Yes.
homeowners association's responsibility, not, the town would not, they might have to,
Right, I guess what I'm saying,
contact somebody.
if the homeowners association, which is not a government agency, decides to go defunct, then it's free-for-all.
Yeah, I don't know.
so our existing regulations under elderly developments, which is what the Notch Hill subdivision was approved under, it has for purposes of this regulation, elderly shall mean a person who is 55 years of age or older, and if applicable, his/her spouse. The development and dwelling units shall have in its deeds and condominium declarations such age requirement as a restriction.
That limited the amount of
Say it's
people
in
though,
the
too.
deeds, I'm
Had to be a
sure.
spouse. That one had a spouse, directly a spouse, no just children.
Well, it just says if applicable. Elderly shall mean a person who is, if applicable, his/her spouse. So it doesn't,
Oh, to be 50 again.
it doesn't require.
Amateurs.
Well, the other partner had to be a spouse, his or her spouse. So you could be under 55 and be a spouse, but nothing about children,
Yeah, but it's in the deed.
yeah, for the elderly house.
Yeah.
Right.
But now this new thing they want to bring, this,
Well, we'll have to read it.
Yeah, we're gonna have
Yeah,
to
again, we
see.
can read it and see how the terminology is.
floating zone.
If we need to change some of the terminology to include something that's from the from what's in our current
Elderly housing,
regulations, we
yeah.
can add that. Yeah, so there,
she heard our comments, and she took it
Yeah.
back and revised it, and she's coming back.
Yeah, so we'll be able to, I mean, we don't, it's not like we have to approve it that night, we can take it back, look at it, tweak some of the language, look at it, some of, language that's already current there, maybe mirror it up, match it up, so, it sends the same message.
And I'll look at the density of this, because our existing elderly developments regulation has, density requirements. So I'll compare that to what the 6 units per acre
Is there any way you could take a look at maybe some surrounding towns to see if they have anything and what the
Sure.
density is?
Sure.
Because that would be something.
How many
that-
acres is back there?
I don't know.
Where?
Back
I
of
can-
Firelight?
The front, I believe, is it 6 acres
I
in
was
the
gonna
front?
say it's 6,
or
less
7?
than 10, yeah.
It's like
Right.
7 acres in the zone R40,
Yes,
so it's right now zoned for 7 houses, right?
yes,
More or less, yeah.
yeah,
7 acres.
right,
And,
right.
They wanted to put
And
30.
it abuts industrial. That's why they were thinking of having a transition zone with something more dense.
but then, it was asked, have they approached anybody else across the street, which is also zoned R40?
I don't know.
But we'll have, I don't think we should go much more discussion on this
Yeah.
until we see the public hearing, so. But yeah, all right.
And the only other announcement is, as I mentioned, we have a new zoning enforcement officer, so that's great. So her name is Linda Reed. She actually worked for the town in the 80s as the zoning enforcement officer. And then from here, she worked for Attorney John Jesmond, so she's very familiar with the town, and a lot of the same cases, interestingly enough, are still going on. Things that she signed, I'm putting back on her desk, so, but it's been great. She's a
Yeah,
huge
I get to
help.
go enforce them now, right?
So she's here 19 hours a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday mornings. So it's great.
Excellent.
Good.
Yes,
Anything else?
that's it.
Somebody?
Fran.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
That's your job, sorry.